Hey podcaster, I'm Tim Wahlberg, your podcast performance coach, with another actionable tip so you can sound like a pro and gain more podcast fans. Today's tip is how to break up with a guest. Here's how to do it. Tell your guest they were great, and you'll be posting the episode soon. Then disappear like the wind. No, not gonna do it. You're an adult, and we don't do things like that. Plus, you're a nice person. First, I'm gonna tell you why you may want to break up with a guest. In other words, why you might not air their episode. Then, I'm gonna tell you how to do it right. If you have any doubts about a guest or an interview you've recorded, ask yourself, is this guest's content going to serve my listener? Or does airing this episode support my promise? If the answer is no, you've got to tell your guest. And breaking up is hard to do. So how do you tell your guest this? You really have 3 opportunities to do it. The first is during the pre-interview. What do you mean you don't do a pre-interview? Check out episode 65 on how and why you should be doing a pre-interview. If in the pre-interview your guest is all over the map or their thoughts aren't clear, they can't deliver on what they said they could, they couldn't string a sentence or a thought together, break it off before you hit record. Right then and there. Say, thanks a lot. This is my process, and during my pre-interviews, I determine where topics and guests fit into my big picture plan for my podcast. And, now hearing what you're saying, I don't think this content is in line with my audience, and I don't want to waste your time, but thanks for chatting with me. See you around. The pre-interview is a good time to do this. No one has really invested a ton of time here yet. If you're really kind and they were really bad, you may want to suggest they rework their material and give them some suggestions on how they can hone their message a bit better. Maybe you can work together in the future, but use your best judgment on doling out advice. And breaking up with your guest by email is fine. You don't need to get them a card. The next time you might realize you need to break things off with your guest is during your actual episode recording. Again, maybe they weren't delivering great content. They hijacked your show with a big long sales pitch or endless rambling. They were flaky, drunk, or swore a lot. Breaking up with your guest during a recording or right after you've both done the work is going to be more difficult and more awkward. But remember, the longer it takes you to break up with your guest, the harder it's going to be. At this point, they've now invested a half an hour or an hour prepping for your show. They've scheduled you in, and they're likely genuinely trying to provide good content for your show. And they're going to have an expectation you're putting them on your show. If you think about halfway through that you don't like what you're hearing, but you think you might be able to salvage something out of it, call a timeout and say, hey, look, I think we're getting a little off topic or we're going in the wrong direction for my listener. Let's reset here. Let's refocus. Let's get back on track. My listener is expecting this. What can we do for them? Now, if you've completed your interview and 2 days later listen back and you're like, what the hell is this pile of shit? You need to be able to say to them, thanks for your time. I enjoyed our conversation. But after listening back, I felt that this content didn't represent you and what you do well, and it wasn't the kind of information that I know my listener expects from my show. So I'm going to do us both a favor and just put it on the shelf. If I decide to use any part of it in any other episode, I'll let you know. Thanks again, and I appreciate your time. Okay, so you had a bad show, got to break it off with your guest. Here now are a couple of things not to do. Number 1. Don't air the episode. Don't feel obligated to do so. The only obligation you have is to your listener. Number 2, don't lie. Don't wait 2 days and email them saying, oh no, I just listened back and the audio is terrible. We had so many technical issues. I'm so sorry. We won't be airing it. Bye. Then get ready for this. Oh, they'll be more than happy to accommodate you and say, oh, no worries. I've got all this week open. I've got next week open as well. We can reschedule and we can re-record. And even the week after that is open. Crap. Or maybe they'll just badmouth you and spread the word on the street that you don't know what you're doing as a podcaster. Look, that little white lie can come back to haunt you. You're going to get found out, and you're going to look like an ass. Don't delay, don't chicken out, and don't drag it out. Don't ghost them either. Do the right thing and be honest. Pull that Band-Aid right off. You don't have to be rude about it. You don't have to say, you sucked. Keep it simple. I appreciate your time, but in the end, the content you were providing just wasn't a fit for my audience and my show. I'm sorry I didn't catch this earlier. Not every show or every guest is going to be a home run, but doing pre-interviews and being a few weeks ahead of your publishing schedule won't put you in the position of thinking you need to air a crappy episode because it's the only one you've got. So, if you need to break up with a guest, do it honestly and do it quickly. And I hope that's just the tip you need. Is this bad guest thing happening a little too often? Maybe you've got a case of the it's not you, it's measles. I can cure that with my 30 Days to a Better Podcast program. Improving your interviewing skills is something we can work on together. In less than a month, you and your podcast will be in love again, and you'll need to get a room. Hey, take it easy. Check out my 30-day coaching program at podcastperformancecoach.com. I'm Tim Wahlberg. See ya!